How BoJack Horseman made depression funny. Can depression really be funny? Why did a show about a talking horse become a powerful exploration of depression and addiction in the most humorous way? Let's find out in the video. Depression is no laughing matter, unless, of course, you're talking about BoJack Horseman. This animated masterpiece has turned a serious topic on its head, using dark humor and clever writing to explore the complexities of mental health in a way that is both entertaining and thought-provoking. In this video, we'll go into the unexpectedly moving world of BoJack Horseman, discussing the show's pivotal plot points and impressive storytelling. Learn with us how the show tackled the serious topic of depression with humor and optimism, all while shedding light on the thorny issues of mental health and addiction. But before that, ensure you have subscribed to our channel and liked the video. BoJack Horseman's charm lies in its ability to seamlessly mix humor and heartbreak in a relatable and authentic way. BoJack, the show's main character, is a cynical actor who has problems with drug use and traumatic experiences, but he's also hilarious, biting, and flawed, so viewers can't help but cheer for him. The show's authors don't shy away from tough topics like depression, anxiety, and childhood trauma. They do it without compromising the show's signature wit and comedy. One way the show makes depression funny is by using BoJack's modest humor and witty remarks to showcase the absurdity of his situation. BoJack Horseman's well-rounded group of oddball characters is one of the factors that keeps the show from being a one-shot horse. The characters in this show are interesting and multidimensional. Not only props, they bring their issues and weaknesses to the table. It's not that these people are perpetually miserable or that their imperfections are played for laughs that makes them interesting. They have mostly or completely functional lifestyles, but the more you learn about someone, the more obvious the flaws in their personality become. Despite its disturbing chronic melancholy, BoJack is surprisingly funny. We're happy that things turned out well because if not, it would have been a really sad and scary nightmare. So in the episode Free Churro of BoJack Horseman, the 5th season, which was primarily the one-man show performed by BoJack, there is a sequence in which the audience laughs. Still, it is a sorrowful scene revealing despair. No one ever tells you to get free churro when your mom dies. You probably laughed at that line, and so did the audience. But it's a sad line uttered while BoJack got a free churro from a cashier after his mother's death. He never had a churro in his life and got one free of cost after the death of his mother. The statement critiques how people in our culture prefer meaningless platitudes and cliches to avoid discussing the difficult feelings associated with death and loss. BoJack's use of humor here underlines the seriousness of his sorrow and uncertainty while also highlighting the silliness of his tendency. In the same scene from the Free Churro episode, BoJack delivers a sorrowful monologue about his relationship with his mother and its impact on his life. At one point, he talks about how his mother used to bribe him for his silence about the abuse he suffered. BoJack says, "She didn't give me love. She gave me the opposite of love, because love isn't something you could just hand out like a free churro. It's gotta be earned. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. But when I earned her love, it was like a switch flipped, and suddenly, I was the most important thing in the world to her." Again, an emotional line delivered funnily. The audience laughed, but we could feel what BoJack was going through while saying this all. Indeed, it was the most emotional episode of Season 5. This episode delves deeply into the themes of loss, trauma, and the complexities of family. If we talk about the season, we must admit that it covers a lot of interesting ground and centers on BoJack's quest for reconciliation and self-discovery. This season resumes the previous season with BoJack in rehab, attempting to address his demons and the errors in his past that have led him to this point. Throughout the season, we see BoJack grappling with the consequences of his past actions, including his role in Sarah Lynn's death and his strained relationship with his mother. We also see him trying to make amends through his work on a new TV show and personal interactions with people from his past. Then there comes the point. BoJack wants to punish himself by doing something bad to himself. So he gets Diane to write an essay criticizing him. He does not believe he's worthy of love, admiration, or anything good because of his horrific actions. He wants to play the villain because he knows his previous actions were criminal and his future actions could be similarly villainous. Then he can drift off into the sunset, secure that he has severed all ties to the people who were once very dear and near to him. The 5th season continues this exploration with a laser focus on how our worst impulses feed into each other, how mental illness can feed the addiction, and how addiction can feed doing terrible things to other people. This season, we see BoJack at his lowest point, grappling with the consequences of his past actions and struggling to come to terms with the underlying issues that have led him down a path of self-destruction. We witness him physically assaulting his female co-star and lover in an on-set stunt that goes wrong, partly because he's so high. This moment is a crisp reminder that even those we care for deeply can cause immense harm when they struggle with their demons. But the show focuses on this theme, not to excuse bad behavior, but to help us understand how it can be approached before it happens. BoJack's self-loathing becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of destruction. I am a shitty person who does shitty things. But what if he's not? What if he's capable of change, growth, and redemption? The show wrestles with these questions throughout the series, exploring the complexities of addiction, trauma, and the search for self-understanding. It's a powerful reminder that even those who have done monstrous things, perhaps many monstrous things, are not beyond redemption, and that forgiveness and growth are always possible. The series' exploration of mental health and trauma is a standout theme, showcasing how trauma can continue to affect a person throughout their life. But the show never shies away from the difficult work of exploring these themes, tackling them with honesty, empathy, and a sense of humor that can both be biting and cathartic. Like many of the show's best moments, it leaves you with the odd sensation of being profoundly moved by a mashup cartoon, which animals and people live in an unspoken coexistence, though one which is frequently connected by emptiness and self-criticism. BoJack Horseman's 5th season is a brilliant continuation of the show's investigation into the shadowy corners of the human psyche. As for BoJack individually, he has no supporters. His behavior is described as radioactive and self-destructive, but he receives no sympathy. It's unusual to find a show that makes its protagonists take responsibility for their acts and forces viewers to face the unsettling truth about what it means to be a truly imperfect human being. The recurring theme of this 5th season is something has to change. Not just BoJack, but every single show's protagonist can relate to this. The characters finally face the mental health issues plaguing them since the beginning of the series, and they must overcome their demons to go ahead. During an episode, Diane struggles with a difficult realization and expresses, "I have been feeling down lately, but it's not like I have depression or anything." The way she utters the word depression sounds like she's admitting defeat, as if the mere acknowledgement represents a loss to herself. The season's great guest stars are one of its most distinguishing qualities. Character actress Margot Martindale, Arpana Nacharella, Jessica Biel, and many others make surprising and welcome guest appearances in the series. Many of the show's most memorable and thought-provoking moments come from Wanda Sykes and Issa Rae's excellent vocal performances. Their philosophical and existential reflections on love, life, and the meaning of existence are a natural fit for this Netflix show that has always been eager to dive deeply into its characters' psyches. Despite the series' willingness to go into the depths of depression and anxiety, every character's storyline in Season 5 is marked by a sense of forgiveness and hopeful forward momentum. It's a breath of fresh air compared to the show's customary gloom, and it serves as a reminder that there is always room for improvement and progress, even in the darkest of times. The absurdist world of the show, where both human and animal characters coexist, provides a convenient excuse for BoJack's destructive actions. Doing so might distance ourselves enough from the catastrophe to view it as fiction rather than reality. Regarding this disaster, we're on the outside looking in. They're just cartoons, so no one needs to worry. Tragedies are nothing new for comedians. There has been a tradition of sad comedies for quite some time. Compared to other tragic comedies, BoJack's attempt at humor draws attention to the tragedy we've just witnessed. To cut a long story short, Season 5 of BoJack Horseman is an absolute accomplishment of storytelling since it dives into deep topics while maintaining a lighthearted tone. BoJack Horseman can make depression funny by using humor to destigmatize mental illness and create empathy for those who suffer from it. It's a show that makes you reflect on the human condition and shows that even the most wounded and broken people can improve ourselves. This show is a must-see for everyone who wants to watch a drama that isn't scared to portray the harsh facts of life. With this, let's wrap things up. We hope you found something to inspire, challenge, or entertain you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.